Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Colonation Media, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. This is episode number 50 already. Well, not already, it's been kind of a while, but still, 50 episodes. This is just one hell of a long series. Alright, well, in the last couple of episodes, we've been doing all kinds of stuff from Justy impersonators to battle CDs. We've kind of been back and forth. And I think in the last episode, the very last episode, we stormed the pre-gym, so to speak. In this episode, we're going to be fighting our way into the Phenac Stadium, or the Coliseum area. Before we can actually get in there, though, we're stopped by an old man disguised as Cipher Grek. And he's going to begin the battle with Trapinch. I have Trapinch and Golbat. Cipher Grek has Torkoal and Nuzleaf. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Golbat is going to be using Wing Attack on Nuzleaf, who is a Grass and Dark-type Pokemon. Obviously, we have the advantage there. And even despite Nuzleaf's fairly good physical defense, it's not able to stand up to Golbat's Wing Attack. And it goes down in one hit. And Swinub is the third and final Pokemon that he has. And that's going to be the Shadow Pokemon of this battle. Swinub is a interesting mix of types with Ice and Ground. It's a very unique typing, especially in 3rd Gen, or up to 3rd Gen is a very unique typing. In fact, I think only the Swinub line is Ice and Ground. Nonetheless, it has some interesting attributes as well. It's very slow, but it has very high physical attacking power and just very average special attacking power, which is kind of a problem considering that there was no physical special split at this point. So it kind of sucks for Swinub's Ice-type attacks, because even when he does learn Blizzard, and you can pull off a couple of those in a row, it's not going to do nearly as much damage as you think it would. Alright, well, moving on, we're going to focus on getting rid of Torkoal first, and we're going to go from there. Torkoal is just a fire type, and it's a very defensive fire type, which is unusual because there's not very many defensive, like all defensive fire types, but Torkoal is one of them. And I really, how did that burn Trapinch? With Ember, honestly, 10% chance, and Sandtomb just barely doesn't knock out Torkoal there. I'm going to use Golbat's Bite on Swinub because that shouldn't do a whole lot of damage. And we're going to switch Trapinch out maybe for Vulpix. No, I'm going to redo that. Don't like that combination. Okay, so what are we going to do with Trapinch here? He does have the burn condition, which means that his attack is already lowered. So we're going to go with a special attack. We'll use Golbat's Bite to get rid of Torkoal, so that way he doesn't get another attack off for sure. Torkoal goes down, and then Trapinch gets the experience. And Swinub goes for the Shadow Wave, which is a special attack that attacks both of the opponent Pokemon, which in this case is my Pokemon, obviously. And we go for the Feint Attack because that's a special attack, and that surprisingly does a lot of damage there. I wasn't expecting it to do that much. Trapinch is going to die from his burn condition if I don't do something, but Swinub has low enough health. I'm going to switch out to Vulpix just in case, and I will burn him if I need to. You will get burned, my friend. But I'm thinking he's going to stay in this Great Ball on the first try because Swinub doesn't have that high of a catch rate. Low of a catch rate, that is. Got that mixed up there for a second, my bad. And before we move on, that does it for Grek, we need to go back to the HQ lab to purify some Shadow Pokemon before moving on. So let's do that before I forget. Okay, we're back at the Pokemon HQ lab. I keep wanting to call this the Shadow Pokemon lab because, you know, you purify Shadow Pokemon here. It seems to make sense in my head for whatever reason, but that's just not the case. Okay, well, the first Pokemon we're going to be purifying out of 3 is Pineco, the Bug-type Pokemon. It evolves into Fortress, which is an interesting bug and steel type Pokemon, which prevents every weakness except for fire. So it doesn't have any weaknesses other than fire, is what I'm trying to say. And that fire weakness is a 4 times weakness, much like the water and ground type creates a 4 times weakness to grass and nothing else. Okay, well that's it for Pineco. We have Snorunt here, the pure ice type, which unfortunately leaves it with a lot of weaknesses. I mean, it's weak to fire, fighting, steel, rock. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing some. Fire, fighting, steel, and rock. That's still a lot. So, there you go. The advantage, though, it has a lot of strengths. It's super effective on grass and flying and ground, and it's one of the only types that's super effective on dragons, so it's a good type to have around, not gonna lie. Moving on to Ralts, which, as I've said multiple times throughout this gameplay here, Ralts is probably the best Psychic-type Pokemon you're going to run into in this game. And the only reason I'm not using him on my team is because I'm not going to have a Psychic-type. I'm going to have another Pokemon that knows Psychic-type moves, if that makes any sense. But if I wanted a Psychic-type that wasn't Espeon, I'd be going for Ralts all the way. Alright, let's open up the Purifying Chamber here and see what we have. We have 5 sets complete and a 6th set that is like half complete maybe. First of all, I'm going to put Roselia in and face it towards Wooper to get the grass advantage. And we're going to put Swinub in and face that towards Seedot because Ice has the advantage there. We're going to put Meowth in, I don't know, I guess set number 6, even though it's not going to be purified very quickly. We need to get that normal set going. As for Natu, we'll put him in with set number 5 and point him towards Hoppip for the grass advantage. And we're going to move on. So we're here at the Phenac Stadium. And we're going to be going inside only to be ambushed by 2 Cipher peons immediately, and you have no chance to heal in between these battles. So, this is the first one. Oh, hi, little boy. Didn't anyone tell you to stay out? No, actually, no one told me to stay out, so yeah, I guess that's your fault. Well, anyway, Cipher peon Ezen or Ezen? Doesn't matter. She starts with Pelipper and Electrike, which is actually a pretty decent strategy. And it does give away the fact that Electrike has the Lightning Rod ability and not the Static ability, so you can touch it all you want and not have to worry about getting paralyzed by the Static ability, which is kind of good. The downside to that is that if you do have an Electric-type Pokemon and are trying for an easy kill against Pelipper, it's not going to work out. You need to go for something else. And the big problem with that is that Pelipper's other weakness is the Rock type, and it's a Water type Pokemon as well, so Rock types wouldn't fare too well against any of its Water moves. Anywho, Electrike can still paralyze you with the Spark move, which still has a 30% chance of inflicting the paralysis condition, but as for touching it, you don't have to worry about that. I think I said that already. Oh well. We're going to finish off Electrike so as to not get paralyzed, and we'll use Headbutt with Aron on Pelipper and go from there. Since Electrike didn't have that much health left anyway, he goes down. I love Electrike. I wish that you could capture him early in this game. I would totally be all over that. Anyway, with Electrike down, Ezen sends in Spearow, the normal and flying type Pokemon. And it is the Shadow Pokemon of this battle. Pelipper goes for the Water Gun, probably on Aron. Yep, it's going to do a lot of damage. Aron doesn't have a lot of special defense. It's unevolved, and obviously it's super effective, but he survives it, and he gets to pull off a Headbutt, which does a fair amount of damage. Not a lot, but, I mean, again, Pelipper is a fully evolved Pokemon, even though it's 6 levels lower. Alright, well, we'll use Headbutt with Aron on Spearow, and since Pelipper is faster than Aron. I didn't want to let him get another attack off, so wanted to finish him off with Golbat. Spearow goes for the Shadow Panic, which is a move we haven't seen up until this point. But what it does is basically just confuses both of the opponent's Pokemon. And not to be confused with the Teeter Dance effect, which is a different move. But Teeter Dance confuses all other Pokemon in battle other than the user, whereas Shadow Panic only does it on the opponent. So it's basically like a double confuse ray, I guess. The downside is that I think it only has 60% accuracy. He just happened to get lucky and hit with both of my Pokemon. Instead of Aron dying, I'm going to switch it out to Vulpix. And Golbat hit himself out of confusion, which was to be expected. And Shadow Blitz does a decent amount of damage, about 22, 23 damage to Vulpix. And we're going to use Bite with Golbat if he doesn't attack himself. Which he does, so I guess, oh well. And with Vulpix, we're going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, but it missed. And again, that is kind of to be expected because Will-O-Wisp does only have 75% accuracy, and that just seems to be my luck lately. These last couple of battles against Cipher Peons, Will-O-Wisp just takes forever to hit. Anyway, Bite almost takes away half of Spearow's health, though, so that's kind of a bad thing. Even though I did get the flinch there, it means I can't use another Bite, because if it does a little bit more damage than it did the last time, it's going to knock him out, and I don't really want that. Alright, well, I guess I'll use Lemonade. Well, that restores 80 points, Soda Pop restores 60. So I might as well just do that on Aron, just to get him up back to full health, because we do have to go right into the next battle after this with no chance of healing. And Vulpix gets the Will-O-Wisp off this turn, which means Spearow is going to be burned, and that's going to get him into a healthy yellow range after the burn damage in between turns, and I should be able to safely capture this thing without worrying about hitting myself a whole bunch of times. So we'll be good to go. And if not, we should be able to catch it on the next turn. But Spearow does have a very, I was about to say low catch rate. Why do I keep messing that up? It has a fairly high catch rate, so you don't have to worry about it breaking out of a bunch of balls. And if you have a Great Ball, you're pretty much certain to capture it. I don't even think it was necessary to burn the Spearow. The only thing is it is pretty fragile and has some low defenses, so I didn't want to risk accidentally knocking it out and having to start over because I'd be mad. Grrr. Well, that does it for Eason. Yeah, you got beaten by some kid. How does it feel? How does it feel? We'll never know because you disappeared on us. Coward. Stay out of this, kid. It's for your own good. I don't think it really is. And this Cipher Peon's name is Faultly. I'd say that's an interesting name, but I think they're all interesting, quote unquote. Okay, so he's going to begin with Chimecho and Stantler. Stantler has the Intimidate ability, so it's going to lower your attack right off the bat, which sucks, especially because I had Golbat and Aron out, who are two mainly physical attackers. Aron's a completely physical attacker. At least Golbat has Bite, though, so we're going to take advantage of that first and use that on Chimecho because he is a pure Psychic type. And I think he has the Levitate ability, so try not to use ground-type moves if you have them, because it's not going to work on Chimecho. Chimecho does have pretty good defenses. It's pretty bulky, and especially at this point in the game, you're going to be hard-pressed to be able to knock it out in one hit, even if you started with quote-unquote, Umbreon. I doubt that you're going to be able to knock it out, even if you have, well, I guess you'd be using Bite at this point, but that's probably not going to knock out Chimecho. Anyway, moving on, we finally did get rid of Chimecho there, and out comes Grimer, the pure poison type. And it is the Shadow Pokemon for this fight. Stantler is a pure normal type, by the way, so it does get stabbed from using Tackle. But that's not going to matter because Aron's amazing Iron Tail, I swear I love that move, and I've been really lucky with the accuracy thing because it only has 70% accuracy, or 75? 70 or 75. But I think it's 75. Anyway, that's the same exact accuracy as Will-O-Wisp. And Will-O-Wisp, I mean, you've seen how much I've been missing with Will-O-Wisp lately. It's ridiculous. Like that one point, what did I miss, like 3 times in a row? That's craziness. And Iron Tail very rarely misses. And if it does miss, it only misses 1 turn. And then I get to hit on the next turn. Grimer has Shadow Blitz for its primary attack. I think it also has Shadow Hold, I believe. But we're going to go for the Confuse Ray to try to get it to hit itself a couple of times. Grimer is a very bulky Pokemon, unlike Spearow. It doesn't really have any fragile tendencies at all, especially when it comes to special attacks. It's especially bulky. And it does have decent HP and pretty decent physical defense as well. So this thing is going to be able to take a couple of hits. And even if you do confuse it, it'll be able to withstand multiple hits from itself and be fine. Okay, so we did get the burn condition on him, and he didn't hit himself this turn, but that's okay. His attack is lowered because we did get the burn hacks, and he's hurt by the burn. He's almost into the red zone, so he's at a pretty low yellow level here, so we should be able to capture him with this Great Ball. If not, definitely on the next turn. And actually, oh, come on. Stay in there. Stay in there, Grimer. Come on. You know you want to. All right. Anyway, what I was saying, in the next episode, we're going to be taking on, well, there's one more Cipher peon that's going to be standing in our way before the boss, and then we'll start to deal with the boss himself. Yes. It's an interesting way to put it. I've been saying interesting a lot. I don't know why. I just want to. Okay, well, before we go back and heal, you want to grab this TM right here. It is TM13, which is the ever-powerful and ever-useful Ice Beam. And we're going to be teaching that to Vaporeon right now. We are not going to wait. And in like 5 levels, he's going to try to learn Aurora Beam, and I'm not going to teach it to him, obviously. Because I don't care. Ice Beam is amazing. And I don't have an Ice Step on my team, and no one else is going to be wanting to learn Ice Beam, or no other team member would have any practical use for Ice Beam other than Vaporeon. Anyway, I received the Sharp Beak from Spearow there. We're going to give that to Golbat after he evolves. But that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for episode 51. Game on.